buy-side or sell-side technology? Do you see any advantages?
Neither one. I think that, to answer the question that you're trying to look at, it's not about whether the header tag is integrated into the buy-side. They're not really, they don't need to be, because every publisher is already doing it. The question is more of, if you want to get the most out of it, call the publisher. Because the publisher is setting the priority level at which the bid comes in and clears, right? So you now have 2 points of clearance. One used to be the exchange, which was, hey, all impressions are sold at once. Then we saw the advent of deals. Deals force you to negotiate directly with the publisher. You don't negotiate with an exchange to get a deal. They don't really have your interests in mind. Call the publisher, and if the publisher has set a line item priority at priority 10 in DFP, well, now you're just competing with AppNexus, and I wouldn't be bidding on the header. Right? And so knowing that a publisher is hitting both simultaneously, pick your market and opt out of the other. But if that person is willing to do a negotiation and put it at a much higher priority level, you can start to execute guarantees. And now you can do a programmatic guarantee. MediaMath does this quite a bit, and we do it with no fee to the seller. So you have guaranteed sales teams coming in and doing, they get their full commission. If you do a fixed volume, value, and timeline deal, they get the whole thing. So they have an incentive to sell it to us and to our clients. So I think the question is really about, don't worry about if it's integrated into your DSP. Call the publisher and ask how they're setting it up, and then ask for a deal ID that corresponds to something special for you.
Yeah, I think fundamentally, the one challenge we've seen so far is that a lot of publishers are not working with 1 or 2 header tag, right? I met with a very large publisher last week who we all know and love, and they have 12 header bidding. Yes. I didn't even know there were 12 header tags that you could put on a page. So I think that becomes the challenge. So I agree with you. It's not so much directly about the sell versus the buy being integrated, but making sure, how do all those 12 tags play together to my benefit as a buyer?
They probably won't. So you asked, why are we seeing this resurgence? And I think, when I was on the sell side, we all talked to the publisher saying, you do better when everything competes simultaneously, right? And the publishers, I think, have really kind of grokked this message and realized that you can drive more yield if you put everything in one place. And so why shouldn't that extend to the guarantees as well, right? You can put everything in. That's how a market works. I don't know about all of you, but if I go in to buy something at retail, I pull out my Amazon app and I check the price. And if I can wait a day for it, I'm not going to buy it in the store. And that's checking every market simultaneously. So I think, for us as buyers, we try and pick the market that we want to execute a specific type of thing. But a publisher is going to put down every tag, because why do they want to let one header company dominate their inventory? And I think that's where we're now seeing header wrappers and things like that, because it's about pick your buying platform and let them all be there, and that's how a publisher is going to do the best. And then as a buyer, for us, we have to think about, with the publisher, what are we trying to achieve? Okay, where would we like to, what's the best conduit for that? And let's talk about your ad server and your sales team and your setup.
Our mobile version of this is called Price Check for that exact reason.
Price
You can just check the price. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get a real-time rate card.